Welcome back, the world, to another episode. You know what I figured we never do? We never listen to the intro music. We're gonna listen to the intro music today. Okay, just kidding, that song is terrible. I just thought it'd be funny to show you guys that. That is my intro song, and it's the default song that comes with the PS4. One of them, at least. There is some really ridiculous default music that comes with the editing software. Or do not understand what the demographic was going for there. But anyway, we are playing Minecraft again today like we do. And there's something I'm very excited about. There is a brand new device that I have created. It came out of nowhere. I do not know how I ended up coming up with it, but it just is amazing. And we're going to play around with that today. And it is an AFK diamond mining device. It's right over there. Super cool. I'm not done with it. I just started it, but we're going to do that today. And I just figured I would start off the episode by letting you know because it's going to be freaking amazing. Alright, so I realize you have to actually clear out these layers down here when it fills up completely, because obviously the pistons are at push limit, but then it will start working again. So yeah, just a little quirk to the ice farm, but it's working pretty well. I've harvested it a couple times. You can see how much we get for one full deal. Alright, so anyway, there's a couple things that I want to get to today first, before we do our crazy redstone device, which is a couple other crazy redstone devices. So, I'm going to drop this off at base, because we are definitely getting a lot of this stuff for the update, which is coming out in a couple weeks, I hope, if everything goes to plan. Super excited. So anyway, like I said, let's pop around, and I'll give you a couple little updates, what I've been doing the last few days, weeks, however freaking long it's been, and then we will AFK for some diamonds. Amazing! Okay, so there's something, I just wanted to go over something really quick, because I did something in between episodes, and I'm not too sure about it yet, but I wanted to show it regardless, and check out the lag in this area. Man, it's bad. These gold farms are ridiculous. So, I've created a potion device. I have created a potion brewing device. It is all automatic and fully infinite, as long as you have materials. And what's really cool about this, I'm just trying to get a look at it, but obviously I'm going to go into creative mode so I can show you this a little bit better. I just wanted to show you that I actually built it all up, fit it all in here, and it's going to work great. I just got to run this hopper over to this chest, and this will fully automatically produce splash potions of healing words to heal up our wolves and stuff down in the skeleton farm. So it's really cool. So I just figured I would show you this real quick. Like I said, I was able to slot it right in there into the gold farm. It is super compact and amazing. And the coolest thing about it is if it runs out of anything, if it runs out of nether wart, blaze powder, water bottles, any of the ingredients, it will turn itself off, which is awesome. So we're going to pop into creative mode. We're going to check this deal out, and then we're going to go work on the crazy AFK device. Oh man, this is going to be super fun. Alright guys, we're here in the redstone land. Man, I've been hanging out a lot here recently, doing a lot of different things, tons and tons of different experiments, trying to figure out things that I would like to do in the survival world, and this is something that I was very surprised that I was able to figure out. But I have a fully reliable potion brewing system, I think. I think it's fully reliable. I haven't done very much testing. Aha, we do have this stuff brewing. Amazing! I was hoping that was going to work, and it did. So, I've been letting this thing run, and when I log out, occasionally it'll break, but I think that it's going to be fine as long as we turn it off before we leave the area. And it should just continue to brew potions up infinitum until you run out of any of the ingredients. Super cool. So there are some drawbacks, one of which is the water bottle situation. But because we're going to be dispensing these out of a dispenser into some wolves, that was the weirdest way I could have ever said that, voice, stop working for a minute. Wolves, it doesn't matter that there's going to be some water bottles in there. It will not affect anything. Do I have this in the right orientation? I just had a little mess up because I had just logged in and it was broken, so hopefully it is fixed. Yeah, but anyway, I just want to show you this because it's really cool. And it's using some really simple redstone to do something really, really powerful. So, you can see we got blaze powder. We have water bottles. And over here we have all of the ingredients. Like so. And every single one of these containers, inventories, is being compared with a comparator into a block, into a torch. So, if any of these things run out of ingredients, this line is going to turn on. And it's going to turn off our hopper clock. Amazing. So the hopper clock obviously just locks and unlocks these hoppers in this weird order so that you can see this one is on and this one is off and vice versa. And because of the timing, it just happens to work out perfectly. Yeah, so all the ingredients are stored up here, and every time it cycles, it'll do one of the other things. It'll either fill it up with bottles, or it will allow it to brew. Super cool. So I didn't get this idea all for myself, but I did come up with a little circuit to turn everything off by itself, which is very, very essential. But the original device is somewhere over here. Okay, so it's a little bit weird. I will leave a link in the description to this original device, which is convoluted at the moment because I tried to add this off switch deal like we have over here, and it spaghettified it, but it's the exact same thing, just in a different orientation. You can see we got vertical droppers. So that's basically what this is. This is the original device with a different timer. It's super complicated, I'm sorry, but see, this was the original timer, this was the original device. All of the redstone stuff around it was my addition, and I did a copy of the exact same thing, and I just switched it out for a hopper timer to see which one worked better, and they both work the same. So the way that this guy, this super awesome video I saw, which prompted the whole idea, the way that he figured this out is you've got your ingredient droppers like so. You got another one back here, and it goes into this line of hoppers. Yes, and it is the same thing, as you can see, just like I said, slightly different orientation. So what I tried to do was compactify it and make it detect when any of those inventories run out of items, which I was able to do. Very cool. So you can see we got, fill up station over here. We got the on-off switch, and we've got our out of ingredients light. Very cool. And water bottle station up above. So basically, it's super weird, but basically I made this, and you can see if we count this up, we basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 7 or 8 blocks wide. I compacted it in the single player world, obviously just like a couple blocks, so it'd fit in between the gold farms. And I don't really know how I did that because it was really hard to see what I was doing in that like little tight little space. But I figured it out. So this is the exact same thing functionally, although some things might be in a different area. And oh, that's right as well. If we fill this up, we also have an off switch over here, and that's what this thing on the side is. And that's what I don't think I added that. And that is why I was able to keep it a little narrower, because we don't need it, because it'll be emptying out these whenever it's on anyway. While we're here, I'm just going to show you something else that's pretty cool. This is a video you guys have probably already seen, but I just wanted to show you that on Minecraft Console Edition, current version, the stone generator works. This is an El Mango build, and it is super ultra reliable and freaking amazing. So if you guys are looking for a stone generator, man, this is definitely the thing to do. You can see that you can't jam it, it won't break. And if it fills up, it'll just, not break. It's super, super awesome. So we're going to use this for something. I just figured I'd show you that because we're playing around in the redstone world. Okay, so to the main project today. All right, guys, so you're going to have to check out the description of the video today. This video that you're watching, you're going to have to go check it out because I'm going to leave a bunch of links in there to some of the builds that I've been showing today. And this is one of them. So you can see we have this slime block machine here in the middle. And this was designed by a very, very good redstoner, slime block wizard. And like I said, link in the description. Go check out that video because it's freaking awesome. And I'm not going to give you a tutorial or anything on how to build this part of it. So you're going to have to watch that video if you'd like to know how to do it. So anyway, basically this is a tunnel bore, right? This is going to go, it's going to grab some blocks, pull back into the station. And what I've designed for this, which was kind of the prompt of the person's video. They're like, hey, check out this tunnel bore. Now design a piston unloading system for it. Well, I did that, basically. That's basically what I did. I've designed all these pistons, all this redstone, everything that's not this main little slime block machine right here was all my design. And I did this yesterday just out of nowhere. I had no idea where this came from. I was just like messing around with something, and I like looked over here. I saw this tunnel bore, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I have this. I feel like I have the skills to pull this off, and I just hammed it. I just threw redstone down until it worked, and I honestly don't even know how it works. I just know that it does. So check this out. We're going to turn this on. And what it's going to do is it's going to go grab 2 blocks. It's going to pull them back into the station. You can see it's a self-returning machine. And what's also really amazing about this is that fluids will not break this device because all of the observers are facing into solid blocks or into slime blocks or whatever. They're facing into something, so they cannot be affected by fluids, which means this could go through water, which is just mind-blowing. So the very first time you activate it, you got to break those 2 blocks, but afterwards, it will work automatically. So let's check this out. We got to turn it on one more time. You see that piston is pushing the observer up into place. So now it's going to grab all of the blocks and watch the magic happen. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, that is just so satisfying. Check that out. So what's happening, I made it red, obviously, so you could see where the blocks are going to be. This is going to be like stone and ores and stuff. You can see I kind of like put some ores in there to simulate it. Oh my gosh. So there's one thing that I want to do to this, potentially in today's episode. I'm going to try and figure it out. But for now, it is fully functioning and working. The only caveat is you need a second player to mine the other side of the blocks. So that's the thing. Right now, we've got it set to where you just sit here with your pickaxe, and it'll mine all of those blocks. They'll fall into hoppers, and you got your other player doing the same thing over here, mining this column as well. And so you have to have two controllers to make this work at the moment, which is the biggest downside to it. And that's something that I would like to try to fix today. Hopefully, if we can figure it out. I want to try to converge these block streams and make them into one solid line. Man, this can be really tough, but I think we can figure it out. It's also hard to turn it off because you got to wait till it's in the station to pull the observer out. So that's another thing that we might want to figure out, a better way to like activate it and deactivate it and whatnot. Yeah, but you can see that you just sit here and you just mine these out, and you can see you get that shape every time, and it'll push it into place, and you mine that shape out again. And that is how it is fully AFK-able, and also how you can use a Silk Touch pickaxe to get all of your diamond blocks. Super cool. So let's check out the redstone for just a minute, because it's super complicated. I feel like eventually there might be a tutorial for this. Maybe. Don't quote me on it, but there might be. But basically how it works is we got this observer right here that is just detecting this bottom block being pushed into position or being pulled into position or whatever. And that does my patented sand, whoops, just not in survival mode. It's my patented sand monostable for the observer circuit thing that I like to do all the time. And that is controlling all of the pistons. So basically it just goes up. We've got two double extenders right here. So we've got these pistons that activate first. We got a double extender off the back of it, which was pretty tricky to figure out how to get this double extender and this double extender like into the same spot and have them work in the proper sequence. So it's really hard. And like I said, I kind of just like, honestly, I just spammed redstone. I'll show you what I'm talking about, the basic function of the double extender, but then I had to really just experiment for like an hour to figure out how to jam it all into the same place. You can see we even have like locking repeaters and like really crazy stuff going on. All right, I figured I'd show you this real quick. This is like the classic double extender circuit from like a Jeb door or something like that. So basically what you do is you power the front block first, you get the back one with some delay, and that will give you a double extension. So this is how I've done it, right? The only thing is that when you're not doing it off of a lever and you're doing it off of a observer, let's see if we can actually figure that out real quick. I think if you do this from an observer, you need a different timing on your repeaters. See that? So if we go to this setting, try that again. No, did that not work? Okay, well anyway, you can see that when you put an observer in there, it changes that timing, and you need it to be slightly different. Can't have a hole in the floor. Okay, so yeah, basically that's what we have up here. You can see this repeater right here with that timing that I just tried out on top of our double extender, right? And so over here, we have this same thing over on the other side. I don't really know, like, oh, this is how I was able to do it, right? So we got the back delay there, and then we've got the top delay here coming in the side, and it also locks the delay from continuing along a line. That's how I was able to figure it out. So we've got the same thing I just built, but right here, but it's like built into the circuit. But when this one activates, it stops the rest of the circuit from activating a second time. Oh my gosh, that is so complicated, and I think I actually just explained it pretty well. So there's a couple other things going on here. We've got like, what is this observer doing again? Right. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't even talking about it. I even don't know how I built it, but we're going to do our best to try and copy this in survival mode. These ones are pretty simple. It's just like this one and then that one. Or, I mean, it pulls it and then pushes it. Super simple. My gosh, that was a freaking mouthful. So what I want to try to do is merge these two streams together. The problem with it, let's clear this out real quick, and I want to show you the problem that I'm running into, because this is really easy to convert into a different direction, right? It goes bam, and you push it out, and then job's done, right? Like, that's all you got to do. You just got to move that one column. The problem with this is that it advances 2 blocks at a time, which makes it really complicated. So let's turn this on. And so pay attention here. We've got this little diamond block in a specific spot. It's going to jump 2 blocks when it comes back in the station. And that makes it really difficult to try to change the direction of this block stream. All right, well, this is pretty complicated. And I think what's going to help is if we put this right there, because that is going to remind us that we're not allowed to put a block in this space, because we have slime blocks that it's going to stick to. So we need to make sure to be using our terracotta. All right, so we just gotta make sure to hit all the variables, and hopefully we will be able to find a design that works. But if we start pushing it out farther, like if we tried to wait till it was out here, then that's push limit, and we can't do that. So either we're gonna have to go vertically, which might be a really good idea, or we're gonna have to basically like, I don't know, I guess that's really the only option, isn't it? Is we kind of have to go vertically, unless we can just barely scoot past here. But I think that we're going to be at push limit if we try that. Oh man, it's going to be difficult. Okay, so basically there's this other option that I have been considering for a while, and that is to pull this line of blocks this direction, and then push it this direction with a double extender, just like we did on the other side over there. Yeah, so this is basically the only thing I can think of at the moment, is like we pull the blocks this way, and then we push them out like so. I think that that would work. And as long as we can time that out well, obviously that's going to be gotten as well. Yeah, as long as we can time that right, I think we'll be able to do that in between the sequence, and that'll at least extend the push limit beyond our device, and that way we'll have more options on how to converge these streams together. I think that that's going to be probably the best bet. Okay. Okay, so this is how I've been figuring out this whole device. This is what I mean by spamming redstone till it works. Put the pistons where they need to be, right? You know where the pistons are going to have to be. Then figure out how to wire it together. That's basically how I've been doing this. So what's going to happen, I hope, if we can figure this out, is we're going to start with our line. You're going to be pushed over. Let's get some power out so we can actually observe this going on. All right, so they're going to be pushed over. Then they're going to be pushed into the middle. And then we're probably going to have to get some double extension deals over here, which is going to be really tricky to wire this. But hopefully, hopefully we'll be able to figure it out. All right, so these ones, those ones, everything turns off, and we're ready to do it again. And you can see this is coming into the same position as this from over here, I hope. Current plan. This is my current plan. All right, and it involves obviously extending the push limit of both sides. All right, this is complicated. Like very, very complicated, but I think I'm going to be able to figure this out. So I'm just kind of trying to replicate the on switch. Like if this was happening over there, I'm trying to do the same thing over here so we can turn this on. I'm trying to do it from this side so we can watch it happen. Bam, 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 bam. So it should work. And I just tried it a minute ago and it did not. So let's try to watch it and see if we can like come up with a problem or a solution to the problem. See if it works. That is not necessary. Okay. So we're watching all of these pistons to make sure that this works, and it's not going to, and we're going to try to find the problem with it. Interesting. Aha! Aha! That looked really weird, but it worked. Cool. So if we're mining those blocks away, I mean, we're probably going to run into some kind of problem with merging right in this little area and stuff and mining it away. But hopefully it will solve the problem itself in some way. So let's try this one more time. It's very strange, but it works. I don't know why that top one goes. I think that there's a problem here with this redstone that like it gets this bottom piston or something like that. But it doesn't matter because it works, so we're going to try it out. Yeah, so, I guess the next step is to do this side as well. So I'm going to do that, and I will be all right. Oh my gosh, that was so much easier doing this over here than over there, because there's less stuff in the way. So it's super easy, just a little jeb door circuit that I was showing you earlier with some delay, and this one gets activated first. And I know I keep saying this, but obviously, like, this is spaghetti monstered, but just so we can understand it, you know what I mean? And this is our faux activation that mimics what the machine over behind us would do. So blocks go in like so, pulled over, pushed out. Obviously, we're going to want some blocks. and some black smelt. And then hopefully, I don't know if I've said this already, but hopefully we'll be able to mine these out at a rate which the other ones will come in and not get jammed, is the goal. Okay, so this is really promising. Okay, so there's a bunch of really cool stuff that's going on here, like the fact that we are combining these into one spot. The problem is if we just sit here and hold the button looking down, it's not going to get it all. It's going to jam. So we're going to have to do something where like we're standing diagonally to it. But then the other problem I was realizing is that diamonds aren't instant mineable. So like if you get an ore block, it's going to take longer to mine that. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But I'm wondering if we can do some kind of like super sneaky. Let's get all these blocks in place as if they were there. Can we like target? I can't get both of these ones at the same time. So I'm wondering which one is more important. We'll get it when it's down there anyway. We can get that one. See what I mean? Like we've got to choose which ones we can target, but then that's the problem with this type of machine is like, you can't do that because it'll jam if you do that. Unique New York. So guys, it's been a couple days and I've been working on this thing for a couple hours here and there, and I slept on it and I realized I was just being super stupid. There was this problem I was having. I couldn't figure out how to solve it, and like I said, I just slept on it and I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such an easy fix. And so I went ahead and slapped it together. I just needed to add a bunch of delay. You can see we got a bunch of repeaters here. It goes wonk, 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 goes around. This one is kind of unnecessary, but I kept it here just because, why not? I built it and there's no reason to change it. But this one could definitely be a lot shorter, but that repeater chain over there is kind of the way that this all works. Oh, and by the way, there's some crazy thunderstorms going on right now. So if you hear a massive explosion, don't worry, my house just blew up from lightning. So let's turn this thing on. I've actually been, let's refill it, because in order to stop it, that's one thing I still have to do. You can see we got this line over here that's turning off this torch. It's not allowing it to turn on or whatever. So there's a better way that I could do that. But that is the only thing that's really wrong with this at the moment. So let's try and get it to like where it would be as if we were starting it right in the middle. Words, it's kind of hard to explain. But this is what it should look like when you walk up to it and start the device. So what we're going to do is go into survival. And I just saved the game. So necessary with this device. If I mess up, all of these pistons and stuff get like pushed out of the way and it's hard to remember where everything goes. Okay, so start the device. See, it's going to go off into the distance. And we can stand here on top of the hopper and just hold the button and look down there. Oh yeah, we break that block as well. And so basically the problem, I was trying to figure out a different piston layout and I realized I can solve the problem with delay. I just give myself enough time to break the blocks and then the left side goes in, and then after a little while, you see this could be a lot shorter, but then the second push comes along and you can see everything's cleared out. It's ready to go again, and we're going to keep holding the button. Amazing. And so I've done this with all ore blocks in survival, efficiency 5, haste 2, and that is because I want to make sure that if we get completely all ore blocks from both sides, we're still harvesting it fast enough. And it seems like we are. I filled the entire tunnel up back there, like in the back, all of the stock where we're getting all these blocks from. I filled it all the way up and AFK'd, and it cleared all of it out with no problem. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it looks really, really promising. It's pretty awesome. I'm just kind of impressed that I was able to figure this out in such an easy way by just adding some delay. I was all thinking I was going to have to like change the pistons and like even like extend the push limit even more and like do all this stuff. And yeah, it turns out all you got to do is add a bunch of repeaters. So to turn this off, you kind of got to like clear it out like this so it doesn't jam, and then turn it off real quick. So that's something I got to fix. I got to fix the off switch a little bit. So you can see it's acting a little bit weird, but it works. All right, so that is pretty cool. And I think what I'm going to do is probably build this up in survival mode at some point. But man, I'm just blown away with this. I say things are amazing a lot. It's kind of a catchphrase, like amazing. But this is actually quite amazing. Hit the freaking like button if you like AFK diamond mining and vanilla Minecraft with the Silk Touch pick. So cool. And also another thing I forgot to mention, We could use fortune with mending. We could probably just mend our freaking pickaxe as we go, and it would be truly infinite, I think. I think the only thing that would stop the device, one other thing that we could do to it, is instead of having this observer activate the entire device, the reason this cauldron is here is so you could put a comparator off of it and detect when the thing is back into the station. So that is something I want to change. If we build this in survival, I want to have the activation observer circuit deal coming off of the cauldron. That is why this block is here, in case you were wondering. Because what's going on is you can't take an observer, like right here, off of this somewhere, because as soon as this block goes into there, it's going to observe that. And so you want to do something with a signal strength that can still be pushed around by pistons and take it out of a comparator. So once this is fully back into the station, cauldron where it is in place, then we will activate all of our stuff, and that will make sure that no matter what happens, like if we don't get all of the blocks, like if we run into a hole or something, or like a lava lake, this block doesn't actually need to be there in order for our device to be running. Yeah, so a couple little changes and stuff, but for the most part, I mean, for proof of concept, this is freaking awesome. So anyway, I think that's doing it for the day. I'm running out of time. I was going to build this up in survival, but I just got carried away having so much fun building our spaghetti monster. So let me know what you think. Got any ideas on improvements and stuff? I would love to hear about it. Tweet me at Hux Plays, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye. So there's this thing you can do is you can attack and then immediately block. Right there, you can see the ghosted image of the character, and that's called a feint. So there's PvP in this game, there's online and PvP, and I think that is going to be huge.